This is Spore Day, which I'm pretty sure this episode challenge doesn't have anything to do with that weird looking CGI video game. Everyone is safe from elimination because they all reached the bunk bed, except for Ruby and Book, which means only they are up for elimination in this episode. Which, I'm not gonna lie, out of all the teams from the last episode that would be out for elimination, that was the team I did not want. I really like Ruby and Book. Why does this keep happening to Free Smart? Every time they lose, they're up for elimination and there's no other extras alongside them. Either way, one of them has to leave and I'm not going to be happy about it. But before they show the results, BFDIA decided to show something I never actually thought they would actually show again. Reading the viewers' comments. Which they haven't done that since the 5th episode of Season 2, and I'm actually glad they actually decided to bring it back. And I get why they decided now is the time to bring it back since there's only 2 people up for elimination. And I like how the contestants read the comments and how they react to them. My favorite comment involves Ruby and the horrifying sludge monster saying that if Ruby gets eliminated, the sludge monster will cry acid. But no, she cries glitter. But the more the contestants read the comments, the more clear it gets on who's really going to get eliminated, because I can see why Ruby is getting a lot of dislikes to get eliminated. While Book does get some dislikes, there's not a very good reasonable explanation why Book should be eliminated. So yeah, Ruby, it's time for her to pack her scissors because she's going flying. And once again, that was not what I wanted. Yes, I know why Ruby got eliminated in this episode. It was her fault for shrinking Pin and pushing her over the edge, and she did steal her song in the last episode. But to tell you the truth, I rooted for Ruby since the beginning of Battle for Dream Island again. Ever since Bubble got disqualified at the season premiere, I was trying to decide which one I actually wanted to root for in Season 2, and I picked Ruby because she was a new contestant, and she was a really cute character since the start. So sadly, I'm gonna have to face the fact of Ruby's elimination, and now I gotta find a new alternate on who I want to root for in Season 2, and I already made my decision, but I'm keeping that a secret until then. Anyways, now that Book is safe for elimination, she also gets a prize, and from here on in, her pages will become sentient, which means all the pictures inside of her will come to life. For the 15 contests, the 9 remaining players will be split into 3 teams of 3. Pencil, Coiny, and Fries will become the heart, Pin, Book, and Nickel will become the stars, and Tinsball, Bomby, and Needle will become the quasi-rami dodecahedron or whatever it's called. And by the way, these players weren't just randomized or anything. They actually thought if they stand on the color tile, it represents their team, but it's actually the shapes inside the tiles that represents them. So the next contest as new teams, they had to get inside this tiny birdhouse. The first team to get inside wins. Everyone else is up for elimination. In concept, it does sound like an interesting idea on figuring out how they're supposed to get inside a very small birdhouse when they're super big. They even go on and on how beautiful the birdhouse is on the outside, but are very curious what it's like on the inside. And when it's revealed, it's actually a pretty funny slap in the face. And from the most of everyone's strategy, their best solution is to simply use a shrink ray to make themselves smaller. Seems simple enough, but the rest of the team are getting in the way of making any team get inside the birdhouse, and no matter what, the other players keep getting smaller and smaller. This is where the animation really shines in Season 2, where we actually see everything in a microscopic view, like when Pencil jumps on Fries' fries, or Needle walks around Tennis Ball's fuzziness. And as we reach the end of the episode, all the contestants go molecular, where we see so many cells and atoms in each layer. There's even a few funny bits here and there, like when the birdhouse gets inside the water and the paint spreads easily. It's actually poisonous to the contestants and they all pass out, but when they pull one of the contestants out of the paint, they come back to life so easily. Followed by another funny bit that in order to get rid of all the lead inside the birdhouse, they had to remove some of the protons and change it to gold up to 3 protons. I guess you'll have to do the periodic table math to figure that one out. However, as interesting as it is as a microscopic challenge, the pacing is really long. Like, it makes this half-hour episode feel like an hour long, and not in a good way. It just drags on for a really long time, since so many of the contestants are not even close to getting inside the birdhouse. And even when the contestants are really this close to getting inside the birdhouse, something keeps getting in the way from making that happen, like shrinking the birdhouse or moving it to the wrong place. There was an attempt by Tennis Ball on making the birdhouse bigger by using a growth ray, only for Fries to sabotage him. If they used the growth ray just as much as the shrink ray, this episode would have been a lot of fun to figure out how would anyone get inside the birdhouse, whether big or small. There were a few running gags from Season 2 I didn't really care all that much, like Pin is still mad at Buck for not letting Ice Cube to swing with her, and Pin doesn't accept Needle as a free smarter because she didn't see Needle do an act of sacrifice, which she already did twice. You know, I'm starting to figure out why Needle quit Free Smart in Season 3. But the act of sacrifice is not the only thing Needle is forced to do again. Bombi is still upset that Needle moved from Woebot to Free Smart, even though it wasn't her fault, it was Ruby's swap token. Bombi said he would accept Needle's apology and welcome her back as a Woebuncher if she does an act of generosity. So now Needle has 2 acts. If I was Needle, I'd take the act of generosity, because Pencil is a lost cause with its Free Smart sacrifice. The only character arc I was more interested in this episode is Book, because 1, she actually used her prize to help her team. There was a funny bit involving Golf Ball, and she actually used one of her shield pages to reflect one of the shrink rays. Plus, there was also an interesting conflict where she had to choose to either help Pencil or Pin. Pencil is a Free Smart member, but Pin is part of Book's team now in this episode. To me, the way that they worked Book involving Pencil and Pin, I thought they actually did a good job with it. It's an okay episode. It has some cool animation about getting smaller, but not one of the most memorable episodes. Will Free Smart ever escape the wrath of Pin? And how will everyone get back to normal size? Stay tuned for the next episode of Battle for Dream Island again!